Warmest welcomes, Hakay here, your empowerment coach. And this is story time, and this is a story of my name. And as I even share this, I'm noticing how important it is to me, and feeling the connection in my heart right now, and feeling this pressure here. Just noticing that, going back to something I'm reminded of Brene Brown, that it is only in the discomfort when we can truly be vulnerable. And I had a dream last night. Before I share the story, I had a dream last night of something really powerful. The world was entrenched in darkness. It was all around darkness, as in fear, chaos, panic. And towards right before I woke up, I was face to face with this darkness, and the darkness scared me so much. I woke up, and in that moment, as I woke up, I realized I am the light, as you are. I am the light that allows that darkness to not be able to take power over me, that fear, and I choose love. Okay, so my story begins when I was starting at university in England here, and I wanted an adventure. I didn't want an education, I wanted an adventure. And so I started my university degree with that intention. And the beautiful thing about being here in England is that you can do placement years. So you do 4 years, and the third one is a placement. And I had this idea in my mind halfway through my second year. I'm like, I'm going on an adventure. I'm going to create this beautiful, beautiful way of living. I'm going to go traveling. And I ended up traveling for 14 months. And I started my journey in Spain. And the really amazing thing was each place I went to, I went from Spain, I went to Italy, I went to then California. And in each place, I was able to carve out who I exactly wanted to be. I took lessons from being in each place, and I was then able to embody them and take them in without anyone's expectation of who I was supposed to be. No one was unhappy about me changing because they didn't know me before, and so each time I was a clean slate. And I was in California, and I was coaching football, soccer out there. And I was about ready to go to the next place, and I was thinking about going to Hawaii to go do some kind of form of volunteering that I could do for my hey Matt, welcome, that I could do for my university as part of my placement. And then I decided, no, I'm gonna go really, really, really outside my comfort zone, and I'm gonna go to Peru, because something I wanted to have tried there was ayahuasca. And this beautiful, beautiful spirit of Mother Ayahuasca was pulling me in. She was like, come, 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 come. You have much to learn. And so I took this step. My Spanish is so broken. But I decided that this was something that I really, really was ready to do. And the first place I went to in Peru was, when I say the middle of nowhere, I went into the middle of nowhere, and then I got this tiny, tiny little bus with like crammed with a whole bunch of people, and then we went into the middle of nowhere. And I went and stayed in this place outside of a little village called Corongo in the Andes Mountains. And I was surrounded by this beautiful, vast expanse of mountains, all as far as the eye could see, ranges. And I was almost completely alone, because where I was volunteering, the people who were meant to stay there with me decided to leave. And this wonderful man who put me up, his name was Eilif, I called him the mountain man, because he would run up and down mountains like it was nothing. He was Norwegian and some crazy kind of guy, which I loved. And he would go back into town. He would go back to where he would stay, and I would be on this natural farm watering plants for hours completely by myself. And I'd walk up and down watering these plants, seeing mountains, and being completely alone with my thoughts, being present inside myself. And all the while, everything about who I am, who I was, began to drop. It just began more like melt, like a hot knife through butter, just dropping away. And I began to really connect with who I am, not the ideas of who I used to be. And I then, every weekend, I'd go into the nearest town over, and I'd be surrounded by all these people, but I'd feel like an alien. I feel like I didn't belong. Like all these people are going off and in their own worlds doing something while I'm just watching, feeling like, who am I? And all the while, I took something from my 6th grade Spanish teacher, Miss Pear. She used to call me in Spanish my name, and for those of you who don't know, my real name is Jake, and in Spanish the pronunciation is Hakay. And so I started to use this name because the locals found it a little challenging to say my name, but also for a little fun. And each time I would say this, I would feel more distant from this idea of who I was and feel closer to the connection of who I am. And I had a spiritual teacher who I listened to, I loved. His name was Muji. And he said, when you come out of the womb, when you come out of your mother and you get held up, and they don't say, there's a Matt, there's a Jake, there's a Samantha. That's just who you are. What is natural to you is who you are, and then you get given a name. And I began to reflect on all my teachings of being back in America, about the Native Americans, and how they would get given a name by what they do, who they are. And I loved that. And I thought, well, why can't I do that for myself? Why can't I be completely unique in myself and what I want to name me? And I was in a village outside of next to Cusco, which is where most people start when they go to Machu Picchu. And I went to this village called Pisac. And in this moment, I was really embodying the space of everything that I need is right in front of me. Everything that is ready for me to have is being given to me by the universe, by life. There's nothing I need to do. There's nothing I need to stretch. And so I really began to follow my intuition. And I walked, and someplace called me. It pulled me over. It pulled me. And I thought, okay, I'll go in. And I walked into this tiny store, and it was quite dimly lit. And there was a woman in there rummaging around doing some things. And I said hello, and we began to have a very simple conversation. And I didn't know where it would go, but I followed my intuition. And as I was about to leave, she said, wait, hold on. I've got something for you. She went. She pulled something out. Said, here you go. And it was a green bag. I looked at her curiously, and she said, yeah. So this is called huachuma. I said, okay. Thinking, like, is it a tea? What is it? And she told me all the instructions about how to use it, what to do with it. And I later found out it was, huachuma is the native word they use for San Pedro, which is a psychedelic cactus. She told me there's a forest nearby, go there. She told me there's a rock circle that you can create for yourself of protection. Go make one for yourself. and just be there and be in connection with nature. And listening to where I thought this is what I need to do. I'm going to listen. I was brought here for a reason. And the next day, I woke up at 5 a.m. and I walked out. And while being with this beautiful plant medicine, I was so still, I was so calm. And about 4 or 5 hours in, this vision comes to me. This vision of this beautiful piece of simple art. I thought, wow. Hey Steve, welcome. And this beautiful piece of art. And I ended up writing it down. And it had so much significance to me. And a few days later, I decided to get this vision tattooed onto me, onto my body. And this vision was of my name. And I'll show it to you. So here you can see, this is when I chose to embody who I want to be. There's Hakay. And this is the native language of Peru called Quechua, which says Noka, Kani, Alien Runa. And this question is, can I create a better I? And this question is also the rock circle, which keeps me protected. Keeps my inner feminine protected, which is me, which is truly who I am. And let's get that back on. For so many years of my life, I thought I needed to do as others wanted me to do, as what others expected me to do. To identify with the past. And from that moment on, when I got the tattoo, I decided that I am Hakay, because Hakay to me translates into transformation. Transformation back into who I was when I was that little baby without a name. And my message to you here is, no identity needs to be taken on, needs to be held on so tightly that it stops you from being who you truly are. Let yourself be free and be who it is that you truly, deeply, and honestly are. From my heart to yours, I hope that this story is connected with you in some way. Yes, Steve. Oh, yeah, such a pleasure. Our time in Tanzania. Your best friend. Yeah. If you want to learn about what it can be like to let go of the identity that is no longer serving you, let's connect. Because it is your inner child that is truly and deeply waiting for you to allow them to be who it is they truly are. Wishing you a beautiful rest of the day, peace, love, and play. Mwah.